Hello and welcome to a following tutorial chapter of our advanced Kotlin Android Studio application for mobile phone tutorials. Until now, we were able to connect our app to Firebase and authenticate the user using the framework that Firebase gives us, yes, and also create a new user. Right here we have the create new user, and here we have the sign in with an email and password user. What we will do next is to continue developing our app, adding the main section of such app. I mean, obviously, when we create an app, we have a login password section, which is the one we just created. Yes, and sorry, I'm gonna execute it again. And after we log in, we want to take the user to the main section of our application, which is going to be the center, the core, the most important part, and it is where we will do most of our developing work. Okay. Now, sorry, I don't know why it's showing it like that. I'm gonna close the emulator and execute it again. So the idea is that once, okay, great, there we have. The idea is that once we receive an okay that the user can follow to the following section, we want to take him to a new activity. In Android, what we do is divide the app in activities. We have the main activity in this case, which is the login activity. We generally change the name of the activity. Instead of calling him name, we can call it login. If you want to change it, you can change it. I'm not going to change it, but obviously in many cases, you will see many places they call this login activity because it's in charge of the login. Okay. Now we want to add a new activity. And when we create that activity, we go to we choose the packet, the section where we're going to have our code. In this case, we already have the main activity class. We're going to add a new class, which represents the new activity. Okay. I'm going to create a new, as you can see, we can create new files. We already did it before, new classes, all kind of new things. But what we want to do is create a new activity. You will see that the options the system offers us is very similar to the ones we already seen when we created our first app. The only difference that here we just see it in a list, but you can see the gallery if you choose. If you choose to see the gallery, it will show you exactly what it means, each one of the options. Remember, we originally created an empty activity, but we could have just created a login activity, which is generally they have one. Can't really see it right now. Sorry. Okay. So forget it. But here, login activity here. If we would have chosen this option, it will give us everything already made up. The problem is that we wouldn't understand how to program this. Okay. Now, for the following activity, we will choose something that already exists. Okay. We will try to create a Google scrolling activity, okay, to start with. Yes. Now, why I choose this one? Because later on we will go slowly and choose much more complex ones. We'll start with a simple one. We have the bottom navigation activity, which has tabs. Well, sorry, bottom navigation activity, which changes between sections. We have the tabbed activity, which has different options in the top. We have the scrolling one that we're going to create now. The navigation drawer is the one that we mainly see in many apps where we show a menu on the left, but we will choose this one. Okay, and we will also like to add to create a Google Maps activity. We will create it later on, and you will see how it works. So let's start with the scrolling activity. So I'm going to create it and give it a name. I'm going to call all my activities core to signify that they're after the login. Okay, core, like saying this is the core of the app. They're not launchers because we don't want the app to start through this activity. The app already starts in the main activity, and it's where we ask for login credentials. So we don't want it to be chosen, to choose this one. All the rest is mainly okay. This is the name of the XML where we're going to edit and design the visual side. This is the title of the activity. That's for the here. That's going to appear up here. We don't really care. Package name stays the same, and Kotlin is the language we're going to choose. And we finish. Once we finish, it will add that activity. You have to let it work a bit because it's still generating down here, as you can see. It's generating all the components. Once it's generated everything, it will stop being on red. The corresponding activity will be created besides the main activity, as you can see. You'll see it's very simple. There is not much here to see. They added a bit more stuff. We will stop in each section to explain. They added the set support action bar, which is a toolbar, which we'll see later on how it works. And they added a fab button. A fab is the small button that appears on the left, right down here, you will see. And what they did is add an action, in this case, just a small text to appear, very similar to the toast, okay? Whatever is inside the blocks here will be executed. This is very similar to the onClick function. You can also change this and use the method we used before. This is good so you can see different methods to do the onClick. But everything that is inside this block will be executed once you click the fab. If we go to the res and the layout, you'll see that it created an XML. The XML represents, it created two XMLs. The content core scoring activity and the activity core. What's the difference? This one is really connected to this activity, while the content is the section that is inside here. The content is here. It's included. It's bringing it from there, which is the one here. Why they do that? It's very simple. What they're doing, what the system is doing really, is dividing the visual side in section. We have to fix this because if we don't, it won't show us the... Okay, it's not really helping. Okay, looks like it. Okay. See if we can fix it by ourselves. Problem here is that the style is not really imported because the application. Let's see if we can choose a different style. Okay. It looks like now it's working. See? Thing is that if we have errors, it won't show what I wanted to show. It won't show it's not showing the, in your case it may work, in my case it's not working. It's not showing the design section, okay? Well, let's try to execute it. I mean, it won't show anything for now, but what I wanted to do is the following step. I really don't care if it works or not right now, because if it doesn't, I will create a different activity. What I want you to do is to close the login activity and open the new activity once we receive an OK from the login. The OK, it's here, right? So instead of printing the toast, what we can do is to tell the system to open the new activity and close this one. To do that, as you can see, I already searched in Google Android Kotlin activity transitions, okay? And I choose the transition in Kotlin. Here in Stack Overflow, you have the solution. Once you press on PDF button, in this case, in this example, you do this. Now, the difference, let's copy and paste. The difference is that in my case, we have to import it. Remember, go to the end, enter. We don't have web activity, okay? We do have this main activity. If we just take this out, it will work anyways. It's not really important. But we don't have web activity. The activity we want to open, this is the old activity. This is the package context, which is this. That's why we write this. And this is the destiny. What do we want to open? And what we want to open is the core scrolling activity. This is the one this is the object we just created, called an intent, composed by the previous context and the new. And this is the function that we execute with this object inside that tells the system to open the new activity. But it still doesn't close the old one. So to close the old one, we have to call on the function finish, which is a function that, as you can see, because it doesn't have anything before, these functions belong to this object. So if I executed this again, okay, and I log in, it should close this one, and the login works, it should close this one and take me to the new activity. Because I don't really remember what are the users I have these ones. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this one, and I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna paste. Doesn't allow me, okay. Okay, so go down and we log in. Well, it closes because there is some kind of a problem. Probably has to do with the fact that the activity doesn't really recognize it. I will check it out. But the idea is that once you do this, the new activity should open and show you the scrolling